up next.
On a special hour-long Your Pittsburgh, some of our most popular interviews and stories.
We're hanging out with Spock from Star Trek, Green Tree native Zachary Quinto.
Nice to meet you, man.
Oh, man, Spock.
Have a good night.
Pittsburgh has 3 rivers, but what's it like to live on one of them? All aboard as Ken Rice gets a tour.
But this is a house.
Right. It's just one that moves.
We're getting to the bottom of what's on top of a Pittsburgh landmark and why sunglasses are required.
Team KDKA takes on 3 different challenges. We're learning how to fly fish with Brett KEISEL.
Nice job, pretty nice one, isn't it?
Way to go, man.
But we're also trying to get out of a high-tech escape room and tackling a unique cooking class.
I'm gonna shine in there.
And a restaurant visit doubleheader. Susan and I are checking out 2 fantastic places to eat.
From KDKA-TV, this is Your Pittsburgh with David Highfield and Susan Copen.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to a special edition of Your Pittsburgh.
We have been telling positive stories from our region for several years now, and we want to share with you some of the most popular.
Yeah, we have interviewed a lot of celebrities who either grew up here or who have special ties to Western Pennsylvania. You want to do some name dropping?
All right, let's do that. How about the wonderful singer Josh Groban, who attended Carnegie Mellon, or Pittsburgh Steeler Cam Hayward, or rock star Bret Michaels, who grew up in Butler.
There was also Pittsburgh pirate Kent DeColvey, and actor Joe Manganiello, who grew up in Mount Lebanon, and actor Ted Danson, who went to school here.
Also Michael Keaton, who grew up here, and we learned that even actress Felicia Rashad has a Pittsburgh connection.
Okay, enough names. Let's share an actual story. It's our interview with Green Tree native Zachary Quinto. His most famous role is Spock in the Star Trek films, and I talked with him just before Star Trek Beyond came out.
It looks pretty awesome.
As we walk around Point State Park with Zachary Quinto, he takes pictures of his hometown. Do you remember coming?
Oh my God, yeah. I remember the Arts Festival music stage was here.
He's so down to earth, it's easy to forget he's a movie star until someone wants a picture with him. Oh, shoot.
Nice to meet you, man.
Oh, man, Spock.
Have a good night. Be well, thanks, buddy.
And it's the role of Spock in the latest Star Trek movies that's made him a household name.
Fear of death is illogical.
Fans also love him for his dark roles, like the serial killer on the TV show Heroes.
I remember you.
And he performs on stage, here in the revival of The Glass Menagerie.
I thought perhaps you wished for a gentleman caller.
Zachary grew up in Green Tree, the younger of 2 boys.
I was really enamored of the news growing up. And KDKA, you'll be happy to know, was the news channel of our households.
And when he was about 11, he met a KDKA personality at Dairy Queen. Zachary had left, but then realized he had forgotten to pay, so he rushed back.
And Bob and Lisa Pompiani were behind me in line. And they thought it was so cool that I came back that they paid for my ice cream. And then we became friends.
Oh, and it turns out a young Zachary was once interviewed on KDKA about a volunteer project to help other kids.
I think that self-esteem is so important in kids, and especially with school.
Zachary went to high school at Central Catholic.
This was my old room.
English teacher Mary Ann Lynch is in this old yearbook picture with him.
She was a big supporter of my shenanigans when I was in high school.
Of course, he was part of the school's theater productions.
He knew then that this really was what he wanted to do with his life.
And they both remember what he did in class.
He would at times stare out the window at CMU, thinking, this is where I'm going to be after I leave Central Catholic.
And I was just dreaming of, you know, being in a production at Carnegie Mellon School of Drama.
His dream came true. He wound up studying musical theater at CMU. Some of his early TV appearances include 6 Feet Under, Charmed, and playing a director on Lizzie McGuire.
Touchdown and smile.
But fans now know him for a variety of work, from American Horror Story
And I've always been self-aware.
to the Wall Street drama Margin Call, to his most well-known role as the new Spock.
You will experience fear.
He tells me it meant a lot to him to get the approval of the man who originated the role, Leonard Nimoy.
I shall simply say, good luck.
I lost my own father when I was very young, and they were around the same age, and you know, the physical resemblance is undeniable, and he was an incredible friend and an influence on me for the better part of the decade that I knew him. before he passed.
Zachary says he's grateful for his career and grateful to be from Pittsburgh. He tries to get back a couple of times a year. Mary Ann Lynch tells me she'll never forget when he paid her a surprise visit.
I turned and there was Zach. And, you know, we hugged each other, and I said to him, our eyes both teared up, and I said, I am so proud of you. And he said back to me, thank you for letting me dream. And those are things, I think, no matter how long you teach, you know, you live for.
Zachary says Pittsburgh is always part of him. In fact, he can slip into Pittsburghese at a moment's notice.
Oh yeah, I got that down, no problem, but, you know.
But seriously, he says the Burgh instilled in him a respect for others, and he loves coming back.
It's always good to come home. I feel strongly connected to this place.
And I want to thank Zachary because, you know, you never know when you meet a celebrity what they're going to be like. He was one of the kindest people. We talked and walked around Point State Park for a while, and he was really in no rush to get going, just a super guy.
All right, Pittsburgh's rolling hills are a big part of its charm. We live in homes on top of those hills, on the slopes, or tucked into the valleys. At least most of us do.
But in this next story, Ken Rice introduces us to an entirely different option.
Maybe you've seen TV shows or you've just heard stories about people who live off the grid, foregoing all modern conveniences. But what if you wanted to live off the land entirely, here in Pittsburgh? Can you do that?
Ask those people up there, waving from the top floor of their house.
We bring you greetings from the land-based population.
That's Tom and Terry Joseph. And Clementine, docked at the Fox Chapel Marina, is their full-time residence.
But this is a house.
Right. It's just one that moves.
They sold their house in Mount Lebanon 3 years ago and moved onto this 77-foot houseboat. Terry is a retired school nurse. Tom is a financial advisor. Why a houseboat? Look around, and you'll ask what I was asking. Why not?
We put new cabinets in, new refrigerator, new appliances. We've got, you know, satellite TV.
Yeah, so there's a dish on your boat?
Yeah.
Plus 2 bedrooms, each with bunk beds. They've got grandkids who visit. And the master bedroom.
We just finished gutting it and rebuilding it back.
Note the nifty placement of the TV above the bed. Bathrooms, this is one of 2.
It's a full-size shower and bathroom there.
And on the top level.
Oh, this is great.
A covered deck with a wet bar and enclosed dining for 12. But their favorite thing to do up here is watch it rain or snow. Of course, the hot tub down below, that's not bad either.
The being, you know, like 10 degrees out, you see the ice floating by, and it's pretty neat.
My own insight into life on the river turned out to be far from unique.
And this feels like, you know, like I'm on vacation.
Yeah.
And I'm 20 minutes from downtown.
Right.
Well, you know, that is the most common statement people will make when they come out and visit.
Okay, so what else does everyone always say?
Isn't it colder there? And no, the Allegheny's not that wide, so our winter's very similar to everybody else's.
A lot of people don't think it's heated, like a house.
It is, of course. There are about 10 other year-round houseboat families at this marina.
Okay, what's next?
And the sense of community is strong.
We knew our neighbors in Mount Lebanon, but not like we know the people here.
It's a bond formed not through adversity, but rather a sense that they're all sharing an adventure.
I love this view. How can you get tired of looking at that? Everybody thinks some kind of hardship.
And you're uncomfortable. Yeah, right. Don't spread the word.
And I reached out to Tom and Terry recently. They're still living on the houseboat, still loving it. And thank you to Ken Rice for bringing us that story.
All right, a couple of questions you may have. Yes, they do get mail at a P.O. box. And no, they do not pay property taxes, just a fee to be at the marina.
Okay, I love this next part. It's always fun when we get a group of us from KDKA together to try out something in the area, something that you might want to do.
Right now, the topic is cooking, and as you are about to see, some of us are good in the kitchen and others not so much.
Arrive hungry and ready to eat at Chop, Walk, and Talk in the city's Friendship neighborhood. Owner Dorothy Tegg guides you through making a meal.
You see how you're holding your knife. Okay, everybody's wrong.
And apparently, we have a bit to learn.
You want to pinch your knife up on the blade. Okay, now you have complete control.
Our KDKA team consists of Ron Smiley, Heather Abraham, Lisa Washington, David and me.
I don't really know what to do if there isn't a recipe, but if she's guiding us, I'm going to shine in there.
My weakness is actually measuring. So a lot of times I just like to eye it.
I said to my husband before we got married, my fiance at the time, I make reservations best. So there you go.
We're doing pretty well with the chopping and grating, but we hit a snag when David is stumped by a can opener.
Why does it feel like this is a left? I don't think it's
Oh boy, get a shot of this one. This is gonna be a long day.
We're making a Thai menu. First up, chicken dumplings. Dorothy shows us how to finish them off by making little pleats.
2, 3.
Some of us get the knack of it right away.
Is this right or wrong?
That's perfect! Hey!
Lisa and Ron master it too, and if I do say so myself,
I think that looks pretty darn good.
3.
David, however, needs a little coaching.
This sucks.
I'm not doing so well.
Soon, though, Dorothy has us all on track.
Oh, that looks delicious. Yeah.
And it's time to sample what we've created.
These are amazing.
Next up, pineapple fried rice with cilantro and grapes. We learn a neat way to cut the grapes between 2 lids.
Keep your fingers straight.
Thank you. Oh, look, I did something right.
Ron takes charge of the walk.
All right, now shovel and shake.
Okay. Shovel and shake.
Dorothy is an avid cook who's studied around the world. She started Chop, Walk, and Talk 14 years ago as a hobby.
It's really snowballed. I'm probably teaching 20, 25 days a month, so it's no longer a hobby. It's fun. They learn how to cook things. They can go home and replicate it.
We also make a chicken stir fry with bok choy and mushrooms. Then it's time to eat.
It's fun to kind of see how to cook the things that you kind of take for granted when you go to a restaurant.
I think Dorothy said I was clumsy at some point, but that's okay because I learned the proper way to roll the knife.
Congratulations on such a good job.
Oh, and we had so much fun, and she does more than just Asian food. She teaches French, Italian, Mexican, and more.
Yeah, you can make 5 or 6 dishes in a class. If you want to check it out, again, it's called Chop, Walk, and Talk. It's on Penn Avenue in Friendship.
Still to come, if you love wine, wait until you see the Italian restaurant with a high-tech way to help yourself.
Cheers.
Cheers. And after the break, what's on top of the city's tallest skyscraper? The roof is approximately 1 acre, the largest roof in the world at this height or above. Stay with us.
Your Pittsburgh flashback to the time we went to Banjo Night at the Allegheny Elks Lodge on the north side. People from all ages still gather on Wednesday nights for the toe-tapping good time.
Welcome back to a special edition of Your Pittsburgh's Most Popular Stories. And one of our favorite segments is called You Wanted to Know.
We give you 2 choices to vote on, like, do you want to know about the mythical 4th river under the city? Or do you want to know which local town created the banana split? Then whichever story gets the most votes, we go and do.
Well, in this next story, you voted to learn what's on top of the city's tallest skyscraper, the U.S. Steel Tower. So David checked it out.
Check out the Norwin High School marching band on the roof of the Steel Building in this vintage KDKA promo. It takes 2. That was 35 years ago. But the U.S. Steel Tower is still the city's tallest skyscraper. Have you ever wondered what it's like up there?
Yes, that would be interesting to find out.
Well, it takes 2 elevators and then an escalator to get to the roof. So how many floors up is this?
Well, technically it would be the 65th floor.
And the first thing you notice is how bright it is. The white roof reflects the sun to keep the building cooler, but it's also blinding, so they have a stash of sunglasses for any visitors. Once you get to the edge, though, the view is amazing. Downtown, Oakland, PNC Park.
I've been told back when it was built, you could see 3 states. I don't know. Is that West Virginia out there? I don't know.
This U.S. Steel video shows the building under construction, workers high above the ground. When it opened in 1970, people were asked what they thought.
It's a beautiful building.
On the roof is the world's highest operational heliport.
Helicopters don't land here anymore, but they still have the heliport's 1970s-style controls and these devices around the roof's edge in case a helicopter had ever crashed.
You could hit a button and these cannons would all start to oscillate and dump foam over the entire roof.
Next to those retro cannons, there's now a multitude of modern communications antennas. It's hard to believe how big this roof is unless you get a view from above. The roof is approximately 1 acre, the largest roof in the world at this height or above. It's 840 feet up, tall enough for the weather to actually be different up here. While it's nice today, it's not always.
The street might not be windy, up here you're getting blown apart.
And I'll tell you, that was truly a fantastic experience. I love skyscrapers. I've been fascinated with them since I was a kid, and the view from up there, amazing.
And I think it's really interesting that you have to wear sunglasses up there because it's so bright.
It is so bright, and they have a box of glasses right there for you. Still to come, what happens when you ask people not from here to pronounce some of our area's trickiest names?
Duquesne? Duquesne?
Plus, David and I check out an Italian restaurant that will not disappoint. Stay with us. Another Your Pittsburgh flashback to the time a group of us at KDKA went to the Pittsburgh Glass Center.
That's beautiful.
Where you can learn how to work with glass that's incredibly hot and create something beautiful.
Who would ever think I'd be blowing glass? But now I'm officially a glass blower.
Welcome back. Anyone who moves to this area quickly learns that we have some unique sayings like red up your room and the word gum bands.
We also have some tricky names to pronounce when it comes to where we live. For instance, North Versailles or North Versailles. We all know the answer, but non-Pittsburghers often don't. So during a trip to New York City, we conducted a little experiment that turned out to be pretty entertaining. In the shadow of Manhattan skyscrapers is Central Park, the perfect place for our little test. On cards, we have the names of some of our area's trickiest places to pronounce.
Monongahela? That's a Monongahela. Oh my God, that's what I'd say about that one.
Of course, it's Monongahela, a Native American word. Now let's try a name that came from the French.
Duquesne.
What do you think?
Duquesne? Duquesne?
Duquesne.
Oh!
All right, new name, same French theme.
North Versailles.
North Versailles?
That's what most people would say too. We pronounce it North Versailles.
Okay.
But everyone else in America
But
would
that's
say.
French.
You're right. Okay, one last one. Let's get some game show music. Because the word is Zelienople. How would you pronounce that?
Zelenople.
Zelenople?
Zelenople?
You got it.
All right.
Zelenople.
Perfect. And I really want to thank all those people for being brave, because I didn't show them the cards until the camera was on, so they really didn't know what I was going to ask. They just went with it.
Well, let's give them an A for effort, because some of those are tricky.
Absolutely. Okay, up next, one of our restaurant segments. And I'll tell you, when I'm in the Giant Eagle or the Home Depot or wherever, this is the segment people talk to me about the most. Everyone wants to know, how'd you get a job where they pay you to go eat?
And we have so many great restaurants in our area right now. In this particular visit, David and I went to an Italian restaurant on Butler Street in Lawrenceville. And this place has a treat for wine lovers.
With its sophisticated style, Senti feels like something from New York City. But its food has roots in Italy, like this homemade pasta.
Oh, that's good.
Isn't that good?
Oh.
We also try this appetizer of beans and mozzarella.
And this is bringing me back to my childhood. And this is good, authentic Italian food.
Being half Italian, I remember visiting Italy as a kid and fantastic meals from my mom, which is why this place speaks to me in any language.
Io parlo.
Io parlo, what are you going to make me say?
Un poco.
Io parlo un poco.
D'Italiano.
Italiano.
You just said I speak a little bit of Italian.
David gets an amazing lasagna with bechamel sauce. I have salmon with a light breading, and we both have wonderful scallops over a beet puree. But now it's time for the wine machine.
It's something like a new toy for everybody. Oh, it's beautiful. This is my baby, so I love a lot.
Senti's owner, Franco Braccia, showed us how it works. You put money on a card, insert it here, and select a small, medium, or big pour.
That's delicious.
A perfect way to get a taste of some of the restaurant's most expensive and unique wines.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Finally, a sweet ending, homemade donuts with coffee pudding.
I'm not going away hungry tonight. The owner is from Italy, and you can tell. Again, it's called Senti, and it's in Lawrenceville.
And I live nearby, so I have been there many times since we did that story. And you know what? I'm getting kind of hungry now.
Me too.
Still to come, you wanted to know, what's the deal with cookie tables? It's a Pittsburgh wedding tradition, or is it? Find out who else is claiming it.
Plus, getting in touch with your artistic side. Heather Abraham visits a colorful local business.
And after the break,
Real.
you know him for football, but we're going fly fishing with Brett KEISEL.
I love having Team KDKA out here.
You're watching Your Pittsburgh on KDKA-TV with David Highfield and Susan Copen.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to a special edition of the most popular stories we've done on Your Pittsburgh.
We love doing this show because it's really an exciting time to be living in Western Pennsylvania. There are lots of cool things to do, and this next story is certainly an example of that.
Yeah, a group of us here at KDKA spent the day with former Steeler Brett KEISEL, and it turns out his life after football includes sharing what he's learned in life and in football in a very intriguing way. When Brett KEISEL retired from football after 13 years as a Pittsburgh Steeler, he wasn't sure what he would do next. But he found the answer in the peace and quiet of places like this.
I was like, you know what? I love nature. Nature was what I used all the time playing football, dealing with anxiety, depression, which the NFL is packed with those things. This is how I got away. This is my therapy.
And this is where you really need to go to understand Brett KEISEL. Being outdoors was part of his growing up.
It started for me when I was young, and my family would take me out, and that was how we bonded as a family.
And now he wants to share that experience with others, along with what it takes to be part of a successful team.
One of the reasons we were so good is because we were so tight.
So he's created Mighty Oak Adventures, where corporate teams can bond out in nature. And that's where our team from KDKA comes in. Rich Walsh, Lynn Hayes-Freeland, Ross Gadati, and I are going fly fishing with Brett, giving a Mighty Oak adventure a try. But some of us struggle just to get the waders on.
I'm not really an outdoors person.
We're meeting at a place called Home Waters outside Altoona, fishing in Spruce Creek, called the Stream of Presidents. Eisenhower and Carter both fished here.
Hopefully the fish are hungry because we're about to attack.
The water comes from a spring, so it's a constant temperature and perfect for trout.
Oh my gosh, there's some gators in there.
He just means big fish, not actual gators.
Like, look right here, you see this trout right there?
Yes.
See him?
Okay.
Look how big that fish is.
The trout are big, but before we can snag one, it's time for a little instruction from Brett and Home Waters coach, Joel Catalano.
Look at the size of the hook. Yeah, it's tiny, right?
The bait, or fly, looks like this, made to imitate a water insect. And once a fish bites, you have to set the hook.
I don't know. There he is. Nice.
Yeah?
Okay, you look great.
Oh, yeah, I'm ready. Ready.
So with that, we begin casting our lines.
Hands off the reel.
Woo!
Hands off.
Right away, I hook one, and Brett talks me through wearing the fish down.
Reel.
Reeling it in as it comes toward you, but also letting it swim out.
This is a big one, too.
Well done. It takes skill, and sometimes the fish wins in a dramatic way.
That's like having a slap shot coming by your head, man.
Yes, Lynn. Awesome job.
Lynn snags one too.
Lynn, you are doing everything perfect.
We can see the fish in the water. Brett's ready with the net, but somehow...
Oh, no!
It manages to slip away. Then she gets another bite.
You got this one.
They're stronger than you think they are, though.
But after a lengthy battle...
Oh!
Rats!
Oh, yeah. Oh!
The fish don't give our veteran fisherman Ross a break either.
Yeah.
Oh. And it hurts when the big ones get away.
There he is.
Oh, he took it.
I'm gonna catch a cold. That's about all.
Oh.
There you go.
All right.
Richie!
But it's Rich who turns our luck around.
Oh, I gotta get this.
He's never fished before.
Yeah!
Woo!
But he manages to catch his first fish.
Nice job,
It's a pretty
buddy.
nice one, isn't
Way
it?
to go, man.
He poses for a pic with a prize-worthy rainbow trout.
Boy, Rich!
My man.
Way to
Thanks,
go,
buddy.
brother! Good job.
Appreciate it.
And then returns it to the water.
There you go, buddy.
Not to be outdone, I get one on the line as well, a brown trout.
Hey, David, we don't lose to the Browns, okay? The brown trout.
It puts up quite a battle.
That's a big fish, David. That's a good-sized fish.
And takes off swimming upstream.
Holy cow! He's trying to swim to Johnstown.
And when I reel him back in, somehow my big fish has been swapped out for this little guy.
What is this?
Oh, wow!
This is not, I fought so hard.
Despite the size, still worth a photo. When it's over, Brett says we're like every group he takes on these adventures.
And they talk about the giant one that got away or the one they landed or the one that got off and a smaller one came and ate
Yeah,
it.
how does that happen?
I don't know. It's nature.
Most importantly, he says it's about getting out of the office, working as a team.
I talked to him about facing adversity, overcoming challenges, all those different things that we had to go through too when we were playing.
And of course, it's also the thrill of the big catch.
This is really cool. Felt like a champion because I caught a fish.
I loved it. It was great. I fished every kind of fishing. This is now my favorite.
There's something about the back and forth with the fish. I would absolutely do it again.
Team KDK was solid. They can go home with their heads held high.
And afterwards, we had a wonderful meal at Home Waters where we sat down and talked with Brett about team building. And they also do these adventures at Nemacolin.
And again, these are retreats for corporate teams. Most of the time, it's for a weekend. And you can do more than just go fishing. You can go hunting, hiking, or biking.
It is called Mighty Oak Adventures, and we want to thank them for teaching us how to fish, or at least trying to teach us.
Now to a different type of experience. It is called Paint Monkey. It's a business a local couple opened that's all about having fun.
Yeah, they are determined to bring out the inner artist in all of us. So we asked KDKA's Heather Abraham to check it out.
Welcome to Paint Monkey. My name is Mary Lou. This is Joe.
Here, the canvas is waiting for you, the palette already loaded as some pick up a paintbrush for the first time.
Never interrupt an artist at work, okay?
I would call it social painting, BYOB painting.
The BYOB part, bring your own bottle.
Corkscrew is probably the most important tool that we have.
Artists at Paint Monkey in Lawrenceville get to work on a pre-sketched canvas. Sketches change from day to day, and if you send a photo beforehand, they'll even help you paint your pet. We're painting the city's skyline, and sometimes when things aren't looking so good, the BYOB part sure comes in handy.
Some people have said this painting needs more wine.
I came prepared.
They cover up anything that you kind of screwed up on. So we'll help you there a little bit.
Joe Groom leads the class, walking around to help the artistically challenged, like myself. I want to get some color though, now it just looks muddled.
Yeah, what you do is go extremely darker.
Some go rogue, as Joe puts it, ignoring all instructions.
I was starting to mess up the building, so I'm like, no, I'm gonna do a full sky.
As for my painting, this is unfinished, okay? Don't judge me. But over the course of a couple hours, the nervousness of painting wears off, maybe with the help of a little wine, and a masterpiece is created.
It's about people getting together, getting out of their box of what they normally do.
We bring out the creative beast in everybody.
And thanks to Heather for that, and her painting actually turned out really well.
Yeah, she did a good job. I think they definitely brought out her inner artist. Now, they call it Paint Monkey because it's sort of monkey see, monkey do. They really show you step by step how to do this.
And the wine is not mandatory, just an option. As for the cost, it's $35 for a 2-hour session.
And they're not just in Lawrenceville anymore. They also have a location now at the waterfront. Still to come. We've heard his hit songs, and Pittsburgh's Donnie Iris is still making music. Paul Martino's hanging out with them.
And after the break, who's trying to lay claim to our tradition of cookie tables at weddings? David is put to work and digs for the truth.
Another Your Pittsburgh flashback to 2013 when we went to New York City to go backstage with East Liberty native Billy Porter in his Broadway hit Kinky Boots.
These are the kinky boots, the boots that are kinky.
Welcome back to a special edition of Your Pittsburgh, where we're sharing some of our all-time favorite stories about our area.
A few years back, you told us you wanted to know about the Pittsburgh tradition of cookie tables at weddings.
Well, we wanted to know too, and in the process of doing that story, David learned there's another city trying to lay claim to our cookie table tradition.
Go to a wedding in Western Pennsylvania and you'll probably find a cookie table. Jenna and Chris Schmidt had a rather impressive one at their wedding in Rostraver. Have you ever been to a wedding where there wasn't a cookie table?
No, actually. Have you?
No, I haven't.
Sometimes relatives do the baking.
All the little Italian grandmas always used to bake for all the weddings.
Other times, professionals help out, which is where Bethel Bakery comes in.
It's no longer something that Italian families do or Polish families do. It's something that every family in Pittsburgh does.
The bakers at Bethel make thousands of wedding cookies, and it's not as easy as it looks, which I found out when they put me to work.
I'm screwing up.
No, you're not. You're okay. Go in the middle.
Okay.
The ones I did looked, well, messy, but I cleverly found a way to keep mine from ruining someone's cookie table. Do you ever once in a while get to eat one?
I guess, yeah.
Yeah? Delicious. But let's get back on track. Is this a Pittsburgh tradition?
100%. It's ours. We own it.
Or do we? Turns out Youngstown, Ohio begs to differ.
So the cookie table didn't originate in Pittsburgh? It originated here?
A lot of us believe that.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Yep, in a jaw-droppingly bold move, Youngstown says maybe we're not responsible for our beloved cookie table tradition.
Oh, no. That's not true.
But the Historical Society in the Youngstown area even has a cookie table fundraiser each year to celebrate their past. They say it all started in Italy, where couples would pass out candies to wedding guests.
We believe that kind of morphed into the cookie table. Instead of the bride and groom going to every single table, they set up a central table.
But was Youngstown really the cookie table birthplace in the United States?
Maybe Youngstown copied Pittsburgh.
Well, I don't really think that happened.
However, Frank is not an unreasonable man, and he says there's actually evidence that cookie tables may have started simultaneously in various parts of the industrialized Midwest.
So you'll share the title with us?
Yeah.
You
yeah,
will?
We'll share the title with you.
Seems fair enough, as long as those of us in the Burgh know what's in our hearts.
It's totally a Pittsburgh thing.
It is definitely a Pittsburgh thing. And thank you to Bethel Bakery for letting me wreak a little havoc in there.
Don't give up your day job.
Still to come, a Pittsburgh rock and roll legend, Donnie Iris.
Plus, Susan and I check out a barbecue place that might have you licking your fingers.
Sometimes you just gotta.
And after the break, another Team KDKA challenge. Can we get out of a high-tech escape room?
Welcome back to a special edition of Your Pittsburgh. We have a lot of fun when a group of us at KDKA try out new things in the area.
We showed you how we went fly fishing with Brett KEISEL and how we went to cooking school, but this next story is a bit of a nail biter.
And that's because we had a time limit. The clock was running as we tried to get out of a Generation 2 escape room.
There are a number of escape rooms in our area right now, but Generation 2 rooms rely less on finding keys to get out and more on electronics and high-tech sensors. Here's what happened when we gave it a try.
You guys ready to do this?
We're ready! But before we begin, let's introduce our team. Lynn Hayes-Freeland, Bob Pompiani, Lisa Washington, Amy Wattis, and of course, Susan and me.
Good luck, guys.
All right, here we go.
We enter a game called Carnegie's Millions, based on industrialist Andrew Carnegie. With just 60 minutes on the clock, we immediately begin examining everything. Searching for clues in a room made to resemble his study.
Directions are under your feet.
We solve one challenge, and a desk drawer pops open with a key and Bible inside. But what do we do with them? There's a chess set, a potted plant, what's important and what's not. We eventually make the right moves, and a secret passage opens. The owners of Escape Room Pittsburgh have an impressive number of hidden cameras, so they can watch our every move.
It's good logic that they're following that.
Joe and Corey Deasy are cousins who started their first escape room experience in Greenfield. Now they've opened this second one in a former bank building in Homestead. They give you clues over a walkie-talkie and also have a little fun.
You get bonus points if you wear the hat.
With the clock ticking, excitement is building.
54 minus 24 is 30.
While there are victories, there are also false alarms.
Momentary gratification and then another roadblock.
But eventually, we make it inside a safe.
Now it opens!
Each new room comes with more puzzles, and occasionally, some frustration.
Magic happens, please!
But with time winding down, we seem to be on a roll. We scoop up some bags with dollar signs.
We gotta put these somewhere.
Oh, in the front room, I know. And rush around with just seconds left. This is when some of the room's best special effects appear.
Here's one, here it goes.
We make a last-second effort to solve the final puzzle, and then...
We're free to go! Or did time expire?
Turns out Bob's right. Time runs out before we solve it. Nevertheless, we all had a blast.
Man, you've really got to be on your P's and Q's and notice every single thing.
Everything's a clue. And when you look at things, you got to consider all of them.
It was a great bonding experience between me and my coworkers.
Did you come back?
Absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, I'm ready to book already.
And that was tough. They say only about 30% of people who try that room actually get out.
For the record, we did escape one of their easier rooms a few years before.
That is true. Well, it costs $27 a person. Again, it's called Escape Room Pittsburgh. They have locations in both Homestead and Greenfield, and they have a number of different themes now, including a subway escape and another room called Tomb Explorer.
Now to a music legend, a kid from Elwood City who's been singing, writing, and rocking hits for more than 60 years now.
At age 75, Donnie Iris doesn't show any signs of calling it quits. He's still playing sold-out shows.
Our sometimes rock critic, Paul Martino, spent some time with Donnie and put together this story.
Donnie Iris is Pittsburgh's King Cool. It's been a long time since he had a hit like Love Is Like a Rock, but it doesn't matter to his adoring fans.
We love you, you know that.
Thank you. We love you too.
Born Dominic Irache in Elwood City, Donnie's been singing most of his life, inspired by his mother.
She played piano and sang, and she taught me a lot of songs, you know, when I was a kid. I was just little, maybe, 6 or 7 years old.
As a kid, he sang with Paul Whiteman's band and with his uncle's band, Curly Vanizzi. Later at Slippery Rock University, he formed Donnie and the Donnells, then the Jaggers. He started writing songs, and he scored a big hit. The rapper climbed to the top of the charts in 1970. What's it about?
If you saw a guy talking to a chick, you'd say, that guy's rapping to that chick over there.
Yeah. So, was Donnie Iris a good rapper?
Now, they call you King Cool. Was King Cool a pretty good rapper?
King Cool is not a good rapper.
No.
Iris eventually left the Jaggers, joined the group Wild Cherry, and met keyboardist Mark Avsek. A great songwriting partnership was born that endures today. Avsek and Iris formed Donnie Iris and the Cruisers, headed to the studio, and had another hit.
We had a lot of fun putting together Aaliyah and the whole first record, and it's really a great thing that our band has endured all these years. It's one of the great treasures of our lives.
Aaliyah, a big hit in 1980, and in the age of MTV, you had to do a video. A beautiful model meets a nerdy Iris in Buddy Holly glasses. Holly was a big nerd.
He was as nerdy as it gets. You know, he's just a nerdy little kid that could just play.
But Donnie's no nerd. Once a month, you'll find him hanging out with fans at Jurgle's Rhythm Grill.
We sometimes party together. Sometimes we smoke cigars together.
He can even charm a crusty old news guy.
My boy right here, my boy Paul.
You are the man. You are the man, Don.
Iris still performs about a dozen energized shows every year. How much longer will he do it?
Until they stop coming, Paul. Until I just can't anymore.
Well, I hope it's for quite a while yet, my friend.
Thank you, brother.
Donnie told Paul that he got one great piece of advice in his career: keep your publishing rights. And that means every 3 months he gets royalty checks in the mail for his hits.
And that would make getting the mail definitely a lot more fun. Thanks to Paul Martino for that story.
Still to come, if you love barbecue, David and I have found the restaurant for you. Don't go away.
Contact us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. We want to know what you want to see. After all, our show is called
Your Pittsburgh.
Your Pittsburgh. Your Pittsburgh.
Your Pittsburgh.
Your Pittsburgh.
Your Pittsburgh. Your Pittsburgh.
Your Pittsburgh. Your Pittsburgh.
Welcome back to this special edition of Your Pittsburgh with some of our most popular stories. We're almost out of time, but before we go, we have to do a little more eating.
Time to visit another exceptional restaurant. Wheel Fish in Ross Township has live music and cool cocktails, but it's really about the barbecue. Wheel Fish is about good times and great food. Barnwood on the walls gives it a rustic feel, and the chef says that describes the menu too.
It's all very rustic, basic barbecue, a lot of Memphis style.
Cheers.
Cheers. David and I start with some delicious cocktails.
Oh, that's yummy.
Then platters of brisket, ribs, and chicken wings arrive. So impressive, we have to snap a picture before we dig in.
I feel like I'm getting in touch with my inner caveman.
There's no pretty and dainty way to eat ribs. You just have to go for it.
And there are delicious sauces, including one called Cowboy.
Spicy.
The secret to this barbecue is the smoky flavor. So we get a peek at the smoker. Chef Matt smokes the brisket up to 24 hours, ribs up to 7.
Ribs on the bottom, that's the eggplant on the top.
And they use cherry wood chips from trees on the property. Let's not leave out the sides: Napa slaw, pork and beans, and mac and cheese that's to die for.
Oh, that's good. I know. Wow.
And we end with some live music.
This could be my cannonball.
And Leona's ice cream sandwiches made in the Berg.
Delicious ending.
And one word of caution, this is a multiple napkin restaurant.
Yeah, that is true. And they told us after the story first aired, they actually had a line of people out the door waiting to get in. And it's no wonder, it's delicious. Again, it's called Wheel Fish, and it's in Ross Township.
And that's it for this hour of Your Pittsburgh. We thank you for supporting a local show that's all about the exciting things happening in our region.
And don't forget to like and follow Your Pittsburgh on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. Have a great one, everybody.
Great job, everybody. It's another one under our belt. Stand by to dissolve. And dissolve. We are clear.